Okay, microphone's on, so... All right.
Don't you want people to hype you up? So hey,
Hype
guys,
me up.
give it up.
Okay, so you guys might know who I am, Mitch, Denny. I'm program manager at Microsoft. I'm one of about 800 people who are involved in building VSTS, and so I thought I would let you guys know a little bit about how we get VSTS to production. That 800 people is broken up into about 50 different feature teams, and we're split across 3 different campuses around the globe, plus a few people working remotely. It's fun trying to coordinate shipping a product into production every 3 weeks, or daily in some cases, across that many people. So the way we work within our campuses is a whole team is generally co-located together, and so we're responsible for a particular set of services or features within the product. The team itself mostly works out of one big monolithic source code repository, and so we all work off master. We create short-lived topic branches and then merge them in regularly, and then every 3 weeks we create a feature branch, a release branch, which is what is then shipped to production. And then when we have hot fixes, we do hot fixes on that branch. So it's a fairly common pattern, and we occasionally cherry pick. Now, all those feature teams build multiple services, and those services have their own release trains, and I'll talk about that in a little bit more detail later on. So, from a development point of view, we can build VSTS and debug VSTS locally. In fact, it's actually possible to run the entirety of VSTS from an environment point of view on a laptop, kinda. It doesn't run really fast, but it works. But we actually have some specific hardware requirements, so we actually must use processes that have virtualization capabilities to make sure that we can correctly protect development credentials and production credentials. In fact, recently we had to upgrade all of our machines because of a security pen test exercise that we ran. So let's keep going. Okay. Ooh. So once I've got some code that I want to merge into the product, the branches that we ship from are protected by PR policies. So you're probably all pretty familiar with pull requests. So when we submit to a branch for a PR, we actually build the source code for both VSTS and TFS because we ship both products out of the one code base. And there's a pretty big focus on the build performance. We want to make sure that we can build as fast as possible. When we do those builds, we execute about 75,000 unit tests every single build, and we do about 800 pull requests per day onto the branch, the master branch, and then not quite that many onto the release branch that's currently in production. We automatically scan every single commit for various security vulnerabilities, so we don't want to accidentally check in a credential, for example, but we also do binary scanning and that kind of stuff as well as we're building. And then optionally, I can actually go and run an additional set of interaction tests for particular scenarios if my code warrants it. So one of the things about submitting pull requests onto the master branch is it means that we have incomplete code in production. And so we use feature flagging quite extensively within the VSTS team to control exposure of incomplete code. And so we can control those feature flags at a deployment account or per user level. And some of these settings are actually controlled by the users or the administrators themselves. So within VSTS, you can go and turn on features which are in an experimental state. But there is a lot more behind the scenes that the end users don't see. So here's an example of what that might look like. This is actually the same page within VSTS with a simple feature flag turn on or off. So it's the build status page and the build status page. And literally you can just alternate between the two with a feature flag as an end user. From an architectural point of view, the service is broken up into big S and little s services. We do have some monolithic code and we have some microservices. And we deploy these things onto scale units. The easiest way to think of a scale unit is a physical deployment of the infrastructure, and they're organized into rings, and we deploy out through those rings to help control our risk. And so if you think of a VSTS account, it's actually a combination of services deployed on scale units that go in to make that one logical account. This is an example of our telemetry that we use when we're doing deployment, just to keep an eye on how the service is operating and whether we've got any issues. This is the number of requests per minute that are coming in, so about for one of our services, which is about 980,000. Basically, our mantra is if you build it, you run it, and when things go wrong, the RO is broken up, and we try to minimise false positives so we don't lose engineers. And so that's pretty much it. Thanks, guys.